Yeah, very big welcome to you, my dear Cancer, and of course a big welcome to the other signs that felt like here is a message for them as well. The sun, or the earth, has turned now in such a way that we see behind the sun the constellation Leo, and Leo is giving a little light to Cancer, which is when we look at the moon, the constellation Cancer is behind it. And we have tomorrow a new moon in Leo. And so you are the last sign now that is just before the new moon, not getting a lot of light to look into the subconscious. And sometimes that's not easy because the conscious mind is what can look into the subconscious mind. And the subconscious is where we have stored the old, right? Our programmings, our dogmas, and our patterns. And nevertheless, you are success. You are cardinal. And here, of course, Leo is fixed. Leo is the middle of the summer. You begin the summer. And so the combination here will hopefully create quite a message for you. The court card for you is the Queen of Cups. She has her birthday between June 10th and July 12th. If your birthday is there, then this is your court card if it comes up. These 3 cards I did not pull. I am using them as a demonstration. Where's the sun? Where's the moon? And what is your court card connected to the classical Cancer? The last reading, because I'm combining always the last reading with the reading right now. You had a new moon back then, and if you are with me for a while, you know in the new moon you're able to plant a seed in your meditation, an idea, a vision, whatever it is. And back then you had the message, power and freedom lies within the horse. It's access by looking within yourself. Because I'm doing these readings since I am creating my own tarot, and so for you there is Ashwa Sanchalan Asana, the horse. Power is very dominant in your card. You have 2 horses, the dark and the white, and so you need to use your third eye to get out there and know that's where you want to go. And it's your third eye that is connecting forward in this triangle with your right and left hand or your right and left foot. The card, the yoga card or the tarot card for Leo is lion breath. Sticking the tongue out, releasing this wild side of ours, not taming it in such a way that it's just suppressed. It's in union through the infinite symbol above her head. And so here's the symbol in an 8, in a standing 8, and that sticking tongue out is exactly in the center. So I have 22 different tarot and oracle decks lying here in order of the major arcanas. I go back into the 15th century and ending up, of course, in the 21st century. And I'm telling a little bit of a story of the tarot itself. And so let's begin with the Visconti Sforza Tarot. The Visconti Sforza Tarot, created 1450 by the family Visconti Sforza. Back then, money married power, and of course, love was not always the case. But here they quite arranged themselves, and after 10 years they painted themselves in the tarot, which is a sign of power. Not just financial power, but also a mental power, like they understood that these cards have a big message in them, and whoever studies it and learns it can be powerful. Nevertheless, here comes the Five of Swords. Now their banner always had a bonne droite, and that is the sentence to who does good gets good back. Nevertheless, here positioned on the Fool, because I begin with 0, some cards say you should start with 1 with the Magician, but I start with 0. Venus in Aquarius, so the new age that we're getting into, and the message I got in your month, when the Sun was in your month, is that the major arcana are imitating the big circle of the Earth, that is lasting 25,850 years. And that wobble goes left, and the major arcanas have to be read left. That's why the Fool is facing this way. And so I got the message to start reading from right to left this month, the month of Leo. Have the strength to see that going from right to left is a state of inner knowledge, inner intuition. Because to go from right to left is the right side of the brain. Going to the left, the intuitive, the right side is connected with the left hand. And so we go intuitive from an inner knowing to an outer showing. And I think you need that, because Venus in Aquarius is speaking about difficulties in your mind. Things that you think you can win, but this kind of winning is actually not a real winning, it's a test. So the universe is testing you right away in the age of Aquarius, the age of the mind, the age of thought, the age of understanding how our brains work. Because now we will have medical devices that can heal any ailment that is physically really impairing us. But the mind, we gotta really learn how to control the mind by meditation. Then comes Oswald Wirth. Oswald Wirth painted only 22 major arcanas, and his cards were used in the Kabbalistic Rose Cross order that was formed 1888 in France. Le Pendu, French cards, because he's a French Swiss. Le Pendu, I think you know who that is. That's the Hanged Man. And the Hanged Man is speaking about a state of consciousness in the Magician, knowing that this test that he's almost looking at, his head is over to that side. He's realizing, I cannot hold this energy much longer. I want to reverse. I want to let go. And of course, this is Jupiter's sign, but also the crossing is always spirit and matter, space and time. And here we can see literally the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the 7th chakra. He's hanging and he is reversing himself. He wants to let go. The Hermetic Tarot, used in the Order of the Golden Dawn, that was formed also 1888 in England. So two major brotherhoods, secret brotherhoods, with important people in it. Particularly here, with the Magician reversed on the position of the High Priestess, comes Arthur Waite and Aleister Crowley, which comes after. Two important figures, right? Two very important men came out of this order. And the Hermetic principles are very important laws. Everything is vibration, everything is duality, there's always male, female, as above, so below. Everything is interconnected, right? So these are very important laws. And so here comes the Magician in reverse. And when something is reverse, I read it rather as a negative tool. I read it as something that you're not yet able to understand, and it's coming. But with the Hanged Man, it's maybe also telling you, yeah, to understand the Magician, you gotta really also see the reverse, see that things come down, see that energies come down, and see that here 4 swords are pointing down and 1 sword is pointing up. Right? So things come down, but also things go up. Again, it's that inhale and exhale. And so this message is not really a negative one. It is saying just be aware that everything has a duality. Everything has 2 sides here in this dimension. And if you want to be successful, you got to learn that. You got to live with that. You got to incorporate that. And so exude that knowledge into the world. Then comes the card that I pulled from Arthur Waite, the 6 of Cups, on the position of exactly the Empress. And the Empress is this beautiful energy, is the number 3, is the tribe, is that feminine. And it's very interesting that here on the High Priestess comes the masculine that has to let go. It's almost like she's saying, it's enough. The patriarch is enough. The masculinity is enough. We don't want to be controlled by you anymore. Let go and see how the sword is pointing up. And if it would come upright, the sword is actually pointing down. The information is coming down. The sword is standing by itself. And like this, it's like we gotta learn to actually receive or go up and bring our knowledge up to the higher consciousness. So the 6 of Cups is Sun in Scorpio. And that's memories. And they say usually this is the Fool and this is the Empress. Okay, so let's have a further look into the next card, because then Aleister Crowley is coming. And here comes Scorpio, the Death card on the position of the Emperor. The Emperor, the number 4, and the number 13, which if we count it together becomes a 4. So a 4-4 portal is formed right here. The 4 is the heart. The 4 is understanding the hexagram, because in the 4th chakra is, in that chakra lies the hexagram. And so there is something that needs to let go. Sun in Scorpio and the Death card. A strong energy about here. These 2 people. A couple. That is maybe also here, right? Is saying, okay, something has to be transformed. The matriarch and the patriarch have to learn and have to understand that something needs to change profoundly, right? We don't want to be controlled by the male anymore. We are our own empress, the emperor and the empress. Now, the beautiful thing here is this is Aries, and to her, there is no zodiac signs. All zodiac signs can be the Empress. And we can see that she has all the stars here above in her crown. So We have to let go. We have to transform. We have to understand that Scorpio is coming and saying, okay, something needs to end. The ending of a story is here. And you are then more free to go forward into this month, which is then the King of Wands. Now, here, 1920, these cards were printed and published. What was so revolutionary about him was that he put people into the minor arcanas, and so we were able to understand them much, much easier. His cards were only printed 22 years after his death, 1969. Also assigned the same way these brotherhoods, 1888, 1 and 3 times the 8. They mark something very powerful with the date of when their society was formed, 1888, right? So it's clear 22 years after his cards were only published, because Aleister Crowley was quite an intense personality and people were back then not ready for his message. Salvador Dali, 1970, were his cards published, and he was very much influenced by Aleister Crowley. And so we see here the King of Wands, which is a Leo. And the King of Wands comes on the position of the Hierophant. So the spiritual knowledge has to be received by this childlike king. The French king, Louis not the 14th, the 14th, Louis the 15th. The king that was like a child. Innocent, but also sometimes in that innocence lies a recklessness, lies something that might not be able to control this fire. And when we control the fire, then we become powerful, because he has the triangle pointing upwards, the Hierophant. He's the one that's saying we gotta go up into the spiritual so that the spiritual comes back down. And then comes the Golden Dawn Tarot. Now this tarot was created in the order of the Golden Dawn. They used the Hermetic Tarot at first to learn, and then they created this one, which came out 1978. So much, much, much later also. And here comes the Nine of Pentacles, which is Venus in Virgo, which comes after Leo, right? And so after Leo comes the cycle of Virgo. And we can see then there is an independence, wanting to have your life in such a way that you have the gain of a physical completion, the number 9. We don't have yet, I'm just checking again the portals, the 5, no, not yet. So there's a 9 coming and saying, yeah, if we stay childlike, if we stay very innocent, we can achieve here in this physical realm an energy that brings us forward, that brings us a certain security, that brings us into our own Garden of Eden. Now this is positioned at the Gemini, and the Gemini is self-love, and so there is a very strong self-love being achieved, because the 9 is a completion, and Venus in Virgo is speaking about she's happy where she's at, she's okay in her life, she doesn't need anything, she's fine where she is. And so this month you are achieving this energy. Also remember, tomorrow is a new moon in Leo, and this is where now the sun is coming up in your position. The sun is in Leo, highlighting you, the moon, highlighting the moon, which is in your sign. So the sun is clearly speaking to you, saying, follow the light, follow always the light, know your independence, know your strength, know where you want to go, and just follow that. And then comes the medicine woman, native Indian, Herman Handel, 1985, and this 1988, exactly 100 years later, from 1888, comes the King of Pentacles. The earth is forever fertile, and the sun giving power to the growth of the crops, of the seed, of understanding that the sun is the light, the sun is the center of our solar system, and that everything revolves around this star, and at the same time it's spinning through our galaxy with 70,000 kilometers an hour. I don't know how many miles that is. So she's moving as well. She's not fixed, but she's fixed to us, but she is moving, this sun. And so it's interesting that we say she, because she's masculine. Le Soleil. And of course, the Taurus, the energy that is forever fruitful, that is forever knowledgeable with the material. The earth is always fertile, bringing this into an understanding that what I gain from this garden, I hold now here in my arms, and I can eat from it. That work that I've done, that work of independence, the work that I've been working diligently, is now fruitful, because now a Taurus energy is coming into your life, and yeah, is maybe inspiring you. Okay, now the next row we have, on the position of the Hermit, we have Temperance coming up. So it's very important that we learn to go deep within and learn from within the knowledge, and thus become in, or feel that we come into an equilibrium. Temperance is a Sagittarius, and Temperance is speaking always about find the mixing, the blending, the alchemical mixture of black and white, yin and yang, male and female. Because on the position of the Wheel of Fortune comes here this balloon, the number 35, a long way home, the number 8. Now you don't have an 8 here, and the 14 is now connected with this 5. Come into your center, then you see the sword that's pointing up, and you know what to do, right? Then you think that the age of Aquarius is intense, is difficult. It will be difficult, because the age of Aquarius is then giving us an opportunity to understand the mind better. And yes, that's the message here in the 5 of Swords. So the 5-5 portal is saying, learn to come into your center. It's important that you do that. And so it's a long way home. Where are you going? Where is the Wheel of Fortune bringing you? What is it that you want? Where do you want to go? Where is your longing? And the longing is to really be you. The Chariot is coming. Now you have a 7-7 portal, 2 times 7, the creativity to be you, fully you, is here at the place of justice. It's your destiny to be you. It's your destiny to understand the message that's coming through the stars down here on planet Earth. The sun, that's the center, right? And so the 1 and the 9 here is, of course, a 10. And the 10 is always a new cycle with the 1 and the 0. A new cycle that understands the magician, that understands the inner power, the messenger, the one that understands the spiritual message. He has to reverse, he has to come down, he has to let go, because the pendu, right, the hanged man, is on the position of the magician, letting go. That's why it came up reverse. And you are realizing now that you have the power from within to go places and lead the dualities such a way, such profoundly, from an inner balanced perspective. And you can go out there and realize what it is that you want, because then comes here on the position of the hanged man. When we reverse, when we let go, what crystal is coming to us? What enlightened energy, because that's what the crystals are, right? They're the enlightenment of the material. The flowers, they're the enlightenment of the vegetations. The feathers, which I always have, there are the enlightenment of the ether. You getting the rose colored sapphire, the number 45, which is then connected here with this 9. 45 counted together is a 9, so you have a 9-9 portal, and you are realizing very clearly you got to find something within you, a creativity, a sexuality, a unity between this wild beast, right, that's sticking the tongue out. Stick the tongue out. And the tongue is connected with the yoni. The yoni is here, yoni lingam picture and unity, and this looks like a yoni. So when you stick the tongue out, do this a lot this month, because the tongue is connected with water, and through water she's connected with our sexual organs. If you're male, then connect with your penis, because that's where you then, on the position of Scorpio, find the tree of life. Scorpio, the transformation, which came up on the position of the Emperor, the transformation through the animal and the plant kingdom and the material kingdom, right, is important to see the crossed legs. It's almost like you are crossing your legs because you have found your sexuality. You have realized something very profound here, and now you're crossing your legs. And number 58 is a 13 on the position of 13. So there is a 4-4 portal, the same 4-4 portal that is happening here. Interesting, right? So there is a message about letting go, about transformation with the way we use the mind, because the Emperor is the mind. Letting go of the patriarch, right, because the Scorpios on top of it is transformation. And now here you have a 13 through the tree, the sexual energy that Scorpio is giving us, something you don't want, something, because the legs are crossed. You see that? Or you're walking forward. You keep walking into the Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune is on the position of Temperance. So the guardian angel is saying, yes, whatever it is, allow to shift into that which your life path is telling you to go to, right? A long way home is very interesting, because a long way home, so she's looking to come home. So she's been maybe a long time on the search, and since everything is spinning, she's maybe realizing, I never will arrive there. Nevertheless, you have arrived in this sign as a soul, and you have figured out something here with the sapphire. I'm gonna read the sapphire's words. It's saying to forgive, to choose healing, to accept and to let go, and to calm the heart. Seven, 9, and of course 58 is 13, 4. It's almost like you don't want the patriarch to enter you. But you have to forgive, you have to let go, you have to understand that something is shifting and changing. Right? Otherwise, you stay stuck. And the Wheel of Fortune is coming, the 10 is coming, because the sun is saying, well, it's continuing. Nothing will stop anything, so move along with it. Okay, so the last 7, which is like the 7 stages of the chakras, from 1 to 7, to the card number 21, the World, on the position of the Devil, the Capricorn, comes the Star. And that's the age of Aquarius. So the age of Aquarius is now at the brink of being in our lives, and the spinning backwards of the cycle is, not easy, because I feel it the way I read now from right to left. It's not the same, but I want to get used to it. So from now on, I think I'm just gonna stay with this state. I want to have this state from within to the outer world be projected. And this is what the age of Aquarius is telling us. We have to realize that whatever is projected out into the world is coming from deep within. It's not from the outside to the in, it's from the inside to the out. And so here certain attachments can only be overcome if we go deep within, if we go into the third eye and overcome our attachments, which begin as a mental, as a seed, as something that's just a desire, right? A desire to fulfill certain things. And then comes, on the position of the Tower, the Moth. The Moth is an air sign, so it fits with Aquarius, which is an air sign as well. So when the Tower is speaking about we let go of things, we let go of inner mental disturbances, we are able to liberate ourselves. Now the Moth is impulsive, hasty and wishful, but when in balance she's enthusiastic but also a little whimsical. The moth is sure the grass is greener on the other side. Moth energy is at play when we're attracted to easy solutions or anything shiny and new. This can lead to unfinished projects, disappointment, or burnout. So this is what is gonna, you have to let go, that easy solutions are never easy. When the energy is coming crashing down, you're letting go of this kind of energy, and the moth energy is helping you to overcome that. Because then on the position of the star itself, the age of Aquarius, comes the King of Swords, the Aquarian energy that is connected to Aquarius. And Aquarius is the hope. Aquarius is the one that is helping us to liberate, helping us to free ourselves and to grow beyond now, to go into the age of Aquarius, which is right here. And this is on the position of the star, which is the third chakra, the first chakra, the second, and the third chakra. The second chakra for me is always a little bit like an orgasm, right? It's like this breaking apart of patriarch, this order, this left brain thinking, right? Numbers, money, power. Like, we gotta let go of that. That's a shiny world that doesn't last for long. It's that feminine world, it's the dark side of the world that's lasting much, much longer than the other side. And then comes on the position of the moon, the shaman's dream oracle. And what can you dream of? Because the moon is waking over our dreams. It's Pisces. And the dream is to detox, repairing the body, mind, spirit. Repairing the body, mind, spirit in the age of Aquarius. Very important that we do that now. And that we learn to take care of ourselves. That we learn to liberate ourselves. And that we learn to see this picture and enjoy ourselves like she does. Right? She's like a fish. She's like a Pisces. See that? And then on the position of the sun comes the number 4, the completion. And the completion is saying, yes, something is complete. Something has here come to completion of the sun. It's in the sign of Leo. And the 39 is a 12, is a 3. And the 3 again is the spiritual number of realizing the triangle that's pointing upwards, right? Because as you can see, it's always the triangle that's pointing upwards. And the 3 into the 4 is a stability after transforming in the position of Aries. After then the 3, which is stability, which is groundedness, which is on the position of Scorpio, of death. You learn to understand that you can create new things because this is on the position of the sun. If you, in the sun, you learn after detoxing, after cleansing yourself, yes, I am ready. I'm ready to change and to now share this information, share this completion with others, because the angel, the judgment, is calling you to bring this information out into the world, and is the number 3. That's why you have to detox. That's why you have to cleanse body, mind, and spirit, the 3 parts with this 3. And when we see these 2 people sitting here, we know they are sharing information. The dark and the light share information with each other. The subconscious fish are swimming by here. And we have, on the position of fish, we have the detox, we have the cleansing, we have the letting go. And here it is. When we share when we are connected with the three, with the tribe, with others, then we all can live a better life because we'll never be alone. And on the position of the world, we have the Eight of Swords, which is Jupiter in Gemini. And Jupiter in Gemini is saying, yes, help others to liberate themselves, help others to see the light, share your knowledge, share this information that you got in this reading with others. Let them know that everything is connected. Let them know that the light and the dark has to be united and has to be connected in such a way that here the three is sharing it with others. And so the eight portal, right? Here the eight, that the way home is to go deeper within. The way home is to really see that you want to grow and you want to understand that the power lies in that infinite loop of the eight, which is now shining down here. The sun, right, in your position. But it's the last reading. Power and freedom lies within the horse. It's access by looking within yourself. That's when you planted your last seed. And your last seed you will see. And now I get the message. Sometimes it takes a moment, right? You planted the seed and now you are finally ready to see where you need to grow as that seed, where it's going, because now it's the second month. And now we have another new moon in Leo, and Leo is going to help you to solidify that seed and to give it the strength to grow where it needs to grow so that you can come back home. That's it. Right? And then to connect, you realize that 8 and 5 is 13. And the 13 is letting go. And on the position of 13 is to arrive and be the tree of life, to arrive and to be strong, and to know that you have a message, to know that you know, yes, I will find a way to realize the mental state that I want to grow myself into. Wow, what a reading. So I hope I see you in the next constellation. That's when the Earth is turning and we look into the sun, and the constellation Virgo is there. Virgo, Venus in Virgo is here. And that's that. Right? Venus in Virgo is here, speaking about an independence, speaking about being strong here in this dimension. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.